I originally had a pretty fleshed out script for this, and I actually did start making a video on this topic, but I kind of got tired of the project and like having it be perfect, which is holding me back. So, fuck it. I've been a musician for 10 years as of recording this, and I've been making visual artwork for pretty much my entire lifetime, ever since I was a toddler. I've learned a lot of things here and there, seen a lot of things. I wouldn't really have it any other way where I am right now. I'm pretty happy where I am with my creative work and all that. So of course, seeing this whole AI craze is just fucking ridiculous, honestly. This one thing that I want to make clear is that you don't need AI to make something amazing. The barrier of entry for making art could not be any lower than it is nowadays. There's a plethora of free or cheap resources out there. What exactly is your excuse? You're only holding yourself back by your own insecurity. Like, nobody came out of the womb making fucking Mozart and shit, alright? That's not how it works. There's no secret sauce. There's no genetic advantage. It's literally just work that you manage to make into an enjoyable process. Whatever genetic advantage anyone would have that would make them a good artist of any kind would relatively be insignificant. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. The fact of the matter is, too many people are making too many excuses on why they don't start now. They'll say something like, oh, I'm not going to be good until I'm 40. So what? You'll still be 40. The time will pass anyway. It waits for no one. Would you rather be 40 and have the skill or be 40 or have no skill? There's a quote from some AI music CEO that I just see as a heaping pile of shit. This idea that most people don't enjoy the process of making music. Hey, here's a tip. Maybe don't pay attention to the people that have like over 1 million streams or followers or whatever the hell. There's a bunch of communities that have a lot more passion than what you're seeing, because a lot of us are not bogged down by the expectations of our audience or whoever is managing our brand, if there even is a brand. So like, I don't give a shit if it makes the process faster, because it's not going to teach people anything. That's the problem. Outsourcing the labor it takes to create something is not going to give you the person does not give me the satisfaction of creating something that resonates with me. Back then I argued that the way how AI is trained on data is similar to how we perceive information. That's too simple. That's too simplistic. Because we all have our own individual biases based on our own experiences and knowledge. AI is just crudely putting together what it thinks makes sense. It doesn't have an opinion of its own, and it does not share. Jesus Christ, that is loud. Okay, I think it's over. Where was I? It doesn't have an opinion on its own. It doesn't share the opinions of whoever's operating it. It is literally based on whatever data is used to train it. And with all of these commercially available AI software out there, the chances of it making something that actually resonates with you, I can't see that as a very likely thing to happen. You know those moments when you show something to someone and they give you a compliment, like, wow, that looks so cool. You should sell this. You know how you're basically told to monetize your hobby? That's kind of the same principle of what's happening with all this garbage. Because you have all these people that are just shoveling out like 10 tracks each day, taking up so much space on streaming services, reducing the value of the revenue that people earn. And it's just, oh my fucking God. And see, that goes along with how these people see art as a medium. They don't see it as a way to express the self. They just see it as a way to make money, a commodity. That's not why we make art. So I don't give a shit about any process that makes it super quick, like in a matter of seconds. That's not validating. That's not a satisfying process to me. Just because I can do it quick doesn't mean I'm going to like it. The reason why I take my time is because I have a certain vision that I want for a project. That's why some tracks can take either 3 days or 3 years, because that all depends on my skill level of making what I have in my head. And I wouldn't get to that point if I didn't spend the time to even develop those skills. I value my skill that I put in the time and effort to develop over the years that I've been doing this shit. So to just completely throw that out the window for software that doesn't even have my own biases or experiences, come on, man, please. Now, look, the software itself is not the issue that I have, because I'm always curious about different tools that can provide results that I would not otherwise think of. When it was just an emerging tool, software, technology, whatever, it was very interesting. Those older AI jukebox kind of things, open AI jukebox it always piqued my interest. Just seeing how a computer would try to predict the next sequence of whatever clip they're fed into. And I've wanted to experiment myself, but I couldn't really work my head around how to actually operate it. So that fell by the wayside. Eventually I ended up using some of the commercial software, and yes, some of the output has ended up in the final product of some of my work, namely being the backgrounds for District 191 in Apex, as well as the dialogue for Nervext. And you know why? It's because I suck. I suck at making backgrounds, and sometimes I suck at making dialogue. So of course I went to a tool that did both. So I took that as an opportunity to actually look into how to actually do what I couldn't do. Because using that software alone is not going to teach me shit. If I'm going to be making bigger projects, I'm going to have to know how to expand my skill set. So if I were to continue using any AI tools, I would want to be able to run it on my own device and use only the work that I have made as training data. A lot of the tools that I use for my work are either free or cheap. I don't have a lot of fancy tools in real life or in software. It's quite literally just whatever free stuff that I could get my hands on. And there's a lot of free resources that compile them together so that it's easier to find. Something else that bothers me about this whole AI craze is how it's pretty much pushing this idea that hyper-realistic rendered shit is like the pinnacle of creative work. It's not. It never has been. If I wanted hyper-realism, I just take a fucking photo. The reason why there are so many different art styles and ways of making music and shit is because there are a lot of things that you can do in art and music that you would not otherwise get just by confining your creative work to the rules of reality. That's what's so great about art, because it shows us a dimension of ideas that would not otherwise be tangible in real life. And in some cases, it's made its way into real life. Creativity is more than just whatever you can put onto paper or what you can record. But that goes beyond of what I'm willing to talk about. But you get what I'm talking about. And everything that anyone makes, even with all the similarities, there's always going to be that personal touch to whatever that person is making. And to have that be commodified into a style that you can just type a prompt into, it's just so soulless. And it just defeats the point of why people make art. If AI is just a tool, fucking act like it. They rely on the creativity of human artists to even function. You can't replace us, you rely on us. The moment you start to rely only on the AI output that you get, that's just an Ouroboros. You're just eating yourself into oblivion. Eventually, everything's going to sound the fucking same. And then where would you go from there? I make art and music because it makes me happy. And it makes other people happy. The fact that I spend enough time doing what I love because of the inspiration that I've gotten from other things is just so gratifying to me. Someone said that my music has been a part of their childhood. You have no idea how much that means to me. Because being able to make the stuff that gets people hyped up the same way that I have, you can't get that from anything else. And that's why I want to keep doing what I love. It's fun and it gets people excited for something. It makes people feel things. It makes me feel things. I learn things about myself. I learn different ways to do different things and I share them to the world. You can't get that by relying on AI to an extent to where you're outsourcing all the labor it takes to make things that resonate with other people. You don't need AI to make something amazing. If you're a person that felt like that they wanted to quit, please don't. We need your creativity more than ever nowadays. I remember when I used to feel like that I was going to be completely replaced, but I don't fucking care about that right now. So what are you waiting for, man? Make something that matters to you, because that's why we did it in the first place.